Our series begins with our heroine, Nian, a famous actress, but she's unlucky. Overnight, everyone turned against her after rumors spread that she was involved with a famous businessman and had stolen him from his wife. So she travels abroad, but when she returns from the airport, she gets shocked to find many journalists waiting for her. She disguises herself as someone else and uses her wits to get out of the place quietly without making any noise. Suddenly, an annoying reporter appears in front of her, recognizes her, and draws everyone's attention to her. She runs away as fast as she can and calls her manager, Jenny, saying, "Where are you, you jerk? I'm waiting for you. Hurry up before they take pictures of me." Jenny tells her not to worry, and that she ordered an Uber for her that will be right in front of her. As soon as she walks out, she finds a man waiting in a black car. Without saying a word, she puts her bag in the car and tells him to drive quickly. He has no idea what's going on but listens to her anyway. While in the car, Jenny calls her and says, "Where are you, girl? The guy's been waiting for you for an hour." She replies, "What guy? I'm in the car with him now." Jenny says, "What do you mean you're with him? I'm standing right next to him waiting for you." That's when she realizes she got into the wrong car and panics, thinking he might be one of her obsessed fans who plans to kidnap her or something. And since she's a strong and tough woman, she immediately pulls out her gun and says, "Stay where you are. Who are you?" He says, "Excuse me, I'm a respectable man. What you're doing isn't right." She says, "Don't play games with me. Who are you and who sent you?" She searches him to find out but doesn't find anything. He shows her his ID, and it turns out he really is a respected doctor. She realizes she made a dumb mistake and got into the wrong car, and because he's a gentleman, he didn't embarrass her and just kept driving without saying anything. She apologizes and gets out of the car, then stands in the middle of the road, waiting for someone to give her a ride. But unfortunately, she doesn't find any transportation, and he feels sorry for her, so he decides to go back to her. She thanks him, and can't believe that after everything she did, there are still kind people like him. But he seems like he doesn't care at all, so she tells him she's the actress Neen. He says, "Honestly, I still don't know you." She says, "Even better then. What's your name?" He tells her his name is John, and he works at the hospital in the rehabilitation department. But she doesn't really care about the details until she suddenly finds a pillow with her picture on it. She gets shocked and thinks he's pretending, and is actually one of her obsessed fans. But he reassures her and says, "Don't worry, this thing isn't mine, it's my friend Hans." She says, "Fine, just play us something to listen to." And when he turns on the radio, her own song plays. She gets shocked again and tries to run away. He says, "Han again? What can I even say to you?" She tells him, "Don't say anything, I've got the gun in my hand. One more word and I'll shoot you." He says, "Calm down, you've worn me out, you and Han." She says, "Don't try to trick me. I'll make you suffer today, and I'll find out who's behind this." But suddenly her manager Jung calls her and asks, "Where are you?" She tells him she's with a guy trying to kidnap her and takes him to the police station. When her manager arrives, he's shocked to find out that she's the one who made the mistake and basically kidnapped the guy. He apologizes to John and asks him to forgive her and tries to solve the problem peacefully without lawsuits. They agree, but on the condition that she signs a settlement contract, which they agree to right away and sign. But Neen still doesn't feel comfortable and says, "Believe me, I'll find out who's behind you." Her manager tells her to calm down. "You've embarrassed us everywhere. Mr. John, we apologize. It's all our fault. Just tell us what you want." John takes advantage of the opportunity and says he wants her to come to the hospital and help with volunteer work. But she refuses, so her manager takes her to the office and tells her that doing this is for her own good because her reputation is in the trash now. "You know the rumors that spread about you, and of course, if you participate in volunteer work, the fans will start loving you again." But she's still stubborn. Jenny tries to convince her until she finally agrees. Sure, here's the continuation translated into English without adding anything extra. She tells them fine, she'll go to the hospital, and not just that, she also donates a large amount of money to the hospital where John works. When John finds out, he goes to thank her manager and tells him he never imagined they would do something like that and how kind and good they are. The manager tells him, "Come on, don't forget to let people know that it was Neen who donated the money." Then he asks when Neen is planning to come to the hospital, and he tells him, "Tomorrow." John is happy, and when he returns home, we find out that he really loves Neen and has been obsessed with her for a long time, and he staged this whole act just to get close to her. Oh, you smooth operator. And as for me, dear viewer, I'm coming straight to you, no tricks or games. I want this video to reach 50,000 likes. And if you're new and haven't subscribed, hit that button. Happy New Year to you all. Let's hit 2 million subs and let's continue the story. As for Neen, she gets ready and packs her clothes to go to the hospital. On the way, she hears fans talking badly about her, saying she steals men. She wants to fight with them, but Jenny calms her down and tells her they're not worth it. Soon the truth will come out, and people will realize it was just a rumor and regret it. Neen arrives at the meeting point where everyone is gathering to head to the hospital, and when John asks her to ride with him, she refuses and says she only rides in her own car. He feels embarrassed and ends up going with her and even drives her car. But suddenly on the road, a landslide occurs. John tries to avoid it and barely manages to save both himself and Neen at the last moment. But unfortunately, all the houses in the area collapse. He's shocked and runs to help the people. Neen tries to call for help, but there's no network in the area. They go around looking for people who can help. On the way, they find a little girl with an injured leg. John is shocked and feels sorry for her. He and Neen give her first aid, but suddenly, the roof collapses on them. Here's the continuation translated into English without adding anything extra. Neen tries to help him, but because of their awful luck, it starts raining too. She takes off all her expensive clothes and puts them on the roof so that John can save the girl. Thanks to her, John manages to save the child. They stay beside her until she wakes up. John asks her name and the girl says, "Dodo, I'm 10 years old." Suddenly, a woman starts crying, so Neen tries to comfort her by singing her a nice song to help her forget the pain until they reach the hospital. Just then, the rescue team finally arrives and takes Dodo, but Neen collapses from exhaustion, so John carries her to the hospital. The next day, when she wakes up, she finds Jenny in front of her. Jenny tells her what happened, that they were in an accident, but John stayed by her side and brought her to the hospital. And thanks to him, she's okay now. She goes to thank him and to check on Dodo, but she finds people watching her drama series and making fun of her acting, saying it's really bad. Suddenly, Neen walks in and says, "So, what were you saying?" John freezes and says, "We didn't say anything but good things. Just good things, I swear." But Dodo looks straight at her and says, "We were saying your acting sucks, and you don't know how to act. You probably got into the industry through connections or just because you're pretty." Neen says, "Oh, so that's what you think? I won't blame you because you're still a little kid who doesn't know anything about the world. It's not your fault. It's the grown-up next to you." She asks, "Tell me, who's your favorite actor?" Dodo says, "Of course, the actress Nana. She's my favorite. I wish I could meet her one day." Neen says, "That's it? By the way, Nana is my friend." But Dodo obviously doesn't believe her. John leaves them to talk and goes to check on Dodo's scans. He writes that she has a serious injury, and unfortunately she might not be able to run again. She urgently needs surgery, and he doesn't know what to do. At the same time, Jenny goes looking for Neen but doesn't find her, so she accidentally enters a room where Dr. Han is, John's friend, the one who's supposedly obsessed with her. She asks him where Dodo is, but he refuses to tell her and starts annoying her. She says, "If you don't listen to me, I'll expose you online." He backs down and says he'll do what she wants. He asks what she wants now. She says, "First thing you need to do is convince John to publish an article talking about how Neen helped and saved the little girl, and keep praising her as much as you can." He listens to her and goes to John to ask him, but John doesn't buy it and says, "Over my dead body." At the same time, Neen goes to check on Dodo, who is crying, and tells her that she misses her family and now she's all alone. She won't have anyone to live with, and even her leg might never work again, all because of the landslide. Neen keeps comforting her until she falls asleep. Then she goes out for a walk under the moonlight and remembers the old days when she used to be a professional dancer. She starts dancing again, and John sees her by chance and admires her dancing. When she feels hungry, she sneaks off to get some food and finds John in front of her. She says, "Couldn't you at least say Bismillah or something? You scared me, man." He says, "What are you doing here sneaking around?" She says, "Nothing, I was just hungry, so I came to eat." So he makes her some food, and they eat together. She feels very happy and thanks him. Later, she returns to her room and remembers her memories of being a famous dancer. One day, her coach told her that she was a failure and couldn't continue dancing, so she had to quit and switch to acting. But even then, bad luck kept following her. Even though she's a talented actress, she's hated because of the many rumors that spread about her and her rebellious personality. The next day, Nian finds out that they're going to do the surgery for Dodo. She feels anxious, but calms down when she learns that John will be involved in the operation. She feels like he'll give it his all. At the same time, John starts preparing himself, but suddenly gets nervous and has to hand over the case to Han. He asks him to take good care of Dodo and perform the surgery well, then leaves. Time passes, and Nian stays nervous until John comes out. He says the surgery was successful, so she happily goes to buy sweets and toys for Dodo to make her happy. But when she arrives, she finds John's face has changed. She asks him what happened. Wasn't the surgery successful? He tells her it was, but unfortunately Dodo still can't walk, and on top of that, she's fallen into a coma. She panics and quickly rushes to check on her, staying by her side all night and praying for her to recover. The next day, she and John go to help the hospital staff, and she works on sorting the medicine. During that time, she tells Jenny that she's afraid they might amputate Dodo's leg. But John walks in and reassures her, letting them know there's no need for that at all, and that Dodo has woken up. Nian is relieved and brings her food, but Dodo gets angry and tells her she doesn't want to live anymore. Nian tries to calm her down and starts playing with her until she finally lifts her mood and comes out of her depression. After that, Nian goes to help John while he's explaining some exercises to the patients. When she finishes, one of the patients runs up to her and says, "I know you, you're the actress Nian, right? I love you so much, can I get a photo with you?" Nian is happy that someone finally recognizes her, but she asks her to keep it a secret so it doesn't cause problems. The girl says, "Come on, of course, no one will know, your secret is safe with me." But not even 5 seconds pass before she takes the picture and shows it to the whole ward, and everyone finds out that Nian is in the hospital. At the same time, Nian takes Dodo for a walk and decides to call her manager Jung to ask what she should do next, but there's no network at all. Dodo asks her, "What are you going to do tomorrow?" Nian replies, "What do you mean?" Dodo says, "Because tomorrow there's going to be a big festival here. Aren't you going to take part in it?" Nian hesitates and doesn't know what to do, but in the end she decides to get ready and celebrate with them anyway. She goes to wash her hair, but the electricity cuts off, and the water too. Clearly, bad luck is clinging to her. Not just that, she also trips and almost falls flat on her face. But John saves her at the last moment. He takes her somewhere to wash her hair. She thanks him and says, "I didn't know you were such a gentleman and from a good family." He teases her, then leaves to prepare some food. As soon as she sees the food, her eyes sparkle. He says, "Please join us." And she doesn't hesitate for a second and sits down to eat with him right away. The next day, she goes to the hospital director and tells him she wants to organize a big party to make all the patients happy. He gives her his approval, so she goes to the garden and starts setting everything up herself. One of the patients sees her and takes a few pictures with her. When the other patients see her, they all rush over. Nian is thrilled and welcomes them, asking them to help her organize the festival. She gives them some balloons to blow up, and the patients are happy and start coming out of their depression. Dodo helps her right away, and everyone starts pulling out their phones and filming her. At the end of the day, after they finish everything, she goes to thank them. And they tell her she's really kind, very different from what they used to hear about her. They ask, "Based on what we've always seen on TV, they say you're arrogant, rude, and a man-stealer. Is that rumor true?" She tells them, "Don't worry, there's nothing between me and that man." Late at night, everyone in the hospital gathers to celebrate. They throw a big festival, and Nian performs. She sings and dances, and everyone joins in. Jenny even films her too. But suddenly it starts raining and she thinks everything is ruined, but John quickly comes and helps her, holding the umbrella so she can continue singing. After the party ends, she feels happy and pleased that she was able to bring joy to all the patients around her and help them, even in a small way. Then she goes to her room, and Jenny tells her that she recorded a nice video of everything that happened, and once the signal is back, she'll upload it online. And for sure, when people see it, they'll sympathize with her, and everyone will love her again like before. She tells her that she wasn't acting, she really did it from the heart to make the patients happy. But suddenly, she starts to feel sick. At the same time, John comes to check on her and finds her feverish. so he gives her medicine and painkillers. When her health improves, he takes her to a garden full of flowers. She's happy with it, and from her joy, she trips and twists her ankle. But John helps her and carries her, and she starts to feel something strange, that she has a crush on John. But right away, she denies her feelings, saying, "There's no way I'd ever fall for this creature." After leaving him, she decides to go buy a few things from the city. She takes her car and leaves, but time passes and she doesn't return. Jenny gets worried about her and goes to ask John. He also gets worried and starts searching for her around the hospital, but still can't find any trace of her, until a nurse tells him, "I saw her leaving in her car. She said she was going to the city." He becomes even more worried and tries to contact her, but unfortunately, she doesn't answer. At that time, Neen is on her way back, but suddenly a car falls from the mountain in front of her. She's shocked and quickly stops her car. She goes to check if anyone is inside the car, and suddenly a man comes out. His face is completely bruised. He tries to pull his friend out but can't. Neen wants to help him and tells him that her body is small and she can get inside the car and free his friend. She manages to get inside, but suddenly the car catches fire. The man gets scared for her and pulls her out quickly before anything happens to her. At that moment, John is driving around looking for her everywhere, until he sees the accident in front of him. He's shocked when he sees Neen. He runs to her and saves her at the last moment before the explosion happens and hugs her. Neen is stunned and says to him, What are you doing?" He tells her he was looking for her. He asks her what made her go out alone and why she didn't tell him. He says, "If you told me, I would have gone with you to the city." She says, "Okay, it already happened." He sees a wound on her hand and tries to disinfect it quickly. She's happy with his care. Suddenly the man says, "If you're done with your stuff, could you check on us now? We're honestly in pieces." John is shocked when he sees him. It turns out to be his friend Leo. He says to him, "What are you doing here, my man?" Leo says, "Nothing much. I was taking this French tourist on a trip, but suddenly the brakes failed and we flipped off the mountain. If it weren't for Neen helping us, we'd be mashed potatoes by now." John quickly takes them to the hospital, and as soon as they arrive, he stitches Neen's wound. She thanks him, but he acts cold and stays upset with her. Because she went out without telling him, then he goes to check on his friend Leo and finds him doing well. Leo seizes the opportunity and says to him, "So how did you pull it off, coward? How did you manage to get close to the girl you've liked for so long?" John says, "Would you believe me if I told you it was by accident?" Leo says, "Come on, man. Everyone knew you were literally in love with that girl. Did you confess to her? Are you together now?" John says, "No, she doesn't know anything. She thinks it's my friend who likes her, not me." Leo tries to encourage him to confess, but John says if he does, she'll definitely hate him and avoid him. So it's better to act like he doesn't know anything. "I'm a doctor, she's an actress, and my friend is the one who likes her. We'll just go on with the script like that, end of story." At that moment, Neen comes in, and when she tries to talk to him, he ignores her. So she drags him with her and says, "Okay, fine. I swear I won't go out again without your permission. And if I want to go out, I'll tell you right away so you can drive me, see? You'll drive me. I'll be upset otherwise." Then she stares at him and asks honestly if he likes her. He tries to dodge the question, but eventually he says that he likes her as an actress and enjoys her shows and work. She's happy he finally admitted it. Suddenly, while they're talking, Jenny arrives and tells them that the French tourist they rescued unfortunately has a contagious disease. There's a chance she caught it because she touched his hand. She gets shocked and scared, but John reassures her, saying, "Don't worry, it's nothing. We'll do the tests just to be safe, and if there's anything, we'll catch it early." After they take the sample, he finds out that the tests aren't available in their hospital, and he has to look elsewhere, without adding anything extra. He keeps traveling to the neighboring province to get the tests done. During that time, Neen starts to give up and says, "That's it, I'm sure I've got the disease," and she starts preparing a wish list. The first thing on the list is calling Nana and asking her to record a voice message for her. She goes to Dodo and plays the recording, telling her that Nana is indeed her friend, and as proof, she sent this special voice message just for her. After that, she goes back to her room and starts packing her clothes because she decides to go back and spend the rest of her life at her house. But before that, she goes to say goodbye to John one last time. She bakes him a cake and gives it to him, but she finds his face shocked. She asks him what happened. He tells her that he managed to reach a lab to run the test to find out if she has the virus or not, but unfortunately the result won't be ready until tomorrow. She tells him that she's not interested anymore, and when he tries to check her wound, she pulls away and tells him he can't touch her so the virus doesn't transfer to him. Then she gets a call from her manager telling her to pack up and come to him tomorrow so they can figure out a solution for her virus. She then takes John and they go to watch the stars one last time before she leaves the next day. They see Jenny and Han and start to feel that something is going on. Those two seem to have a thing for each other, but neither of them admits it. At the same time, Neen can't see the stars because the sky is cloudy, but John doesn't give up. He tries to fix the moment. He makes artificial stars for her and lights them up with electricity, but suddenly they go out again. She tells him, "I don't want to disappoint you, but I know my luck. It's nothing new to me. No matter what happens, your luck is good. I'll handle it tonight and you'll see the stars. I promise you'll see the stars." He brings up stars on his phone, and she's happy that he's trying to help her in any way. But she tells him that she's lost hope. She knows she's no longer okay, and if she dies tomorrow, she only wishes for one thing, that he'd be beside her. John is shocked by what she says and hugs her. He tells her he'll never let her die. He'll do anything in the world if she really has the virus just to cure her. She's touched by his words and starts crying. Suddenly, the lights come back on and the French tourist walks in. He hugs Neen and tells her that he actually doesn't have the virus. So that means she definitely doesn't either. She's overwhelmed and immediately hugs John, who can't believe what's happening. That's when he decides to confess his feelings to her. He tells her he wants to be with her, but when he sees she's surprised, he says he's just joking, and that he also booked her a ticket to go back to the city and continue her work as an actress. The next day, the French tourist does a live stream talking about Neen and how she was the only one who saved him, saying that without her, he would have been dead. The news spreads everywhere, and people start talking about Neen positively again. She becomes a trending topic everywhere. Her manager is thrilled to see that his plan worked and their company's name is back in the spotlight. And Neen starts getting a lot of offers for TV series and commercials, so she packs her clothes and goes out with John to the garden one last time. After she returns, she decides to gather her things. Jenny follows her and asks if she loves John. She avoids the question and says, "Of course not. We're just like siblings. There's nothing between us." John passes by at that moment and hears it, so he keeps his feelings to himself. Before she leaves, Neen waits for John to come say goodbye, but he doesn't seem to care, so she thinks he now hates her, but then he shows up, and she's happy. But he says he only came to help because Jenny asked him to, nothing more. "Really? You think there could ever be anything between us?" Neen gets upset by what he says and walks away. After she arrives at the company, she finds in front of her the troublemaker Nuna, the crazy actress who's jealous of her. Nuna mocks her and says, "Seriously? You managed to catch a rich guy looking like that?" She thinks Neen is weak and easy to bully, but Neen snaps back at her saying, "Listen, Lemonhead, they're already saying you're crazy. If you say one more word, I'll slap you." She walks away. The crazy girl then records her while she's talking and insulting her, and says she'll hit her again if she even mentions her name. She plans to use it against her at the party later that evening. Meanwhile, Neen gets ready, wearing a beautiful dress and preparing to meet her audience after a long time. Now that she's finally managed to restore her reputation through her volunteer work at the hospital, everyone has started to love her again, and she's getting ad offers from everywhere. But her happiness doesn't last. Nuna, the crazy girl, leaks the recording, and suddenly everyone starts attacking Neen again, saying she's arrogant, fake, and only did all that hospital work to become a trending topic again. Neen gets angry and fires back at everyone, saying, "You don't get to tell me what to do or not do. You don't know what was in my heart or my intentions. Whether I did it out of sincerity or just to be a trend again, that's none of your business." She shakes them all with her words, putting them in their place, then leaves the party. Her manager is shocked and tries to calm her down before things get worse, but what really saves the situation is Nana stepping in. Everyone shifts their attention to her. Nana helps Neen leave the party before things spiral further. Neen returns to the makeup room and her manager follows her. He tells her that because of what happened, she lost a lot of ad deals and most of the acting offers she had were canceled too. She's basically back to square one. He leaves, and Neen tries to keep her emotions in check but can't hold back anymore. Just as she's about to cry, Nana walks in and comforts her. She tells her that she's sure Nuna did this because she knows Neen is a threat. If people love you, she'll be forgotten. She tries to calm her down, telling her not to worry and not to repeat this mistake again. Neen appreciates her words and Nana hands her a photo, asking for an autograph for one of her fans, intending it for Dodo. Nana listens to her right away and signs it, but when Neen returns home, she can't hold herself together. She bursts into tears. Jenny is by her side, trying to comfort her, telling her that she'll never leave her and that they'll get through this together. "I'll bring your image back, even better than before," she says. So the next day they release an official statement where Neen apologizes for the harsh words she used. She explains that she only spoke that way because she was wronged and hadn't done anything wrong, and that she was simply defending herself. The situation starts to calm down a little, but some people still keep insulting her. Meanwhile, Dodo goes out for a walk with John. She tells him about everything that's happened with Neen recently, then nervously asks if he has checked on her. He says he still can't talk to her because he feels embarrassed about the last time they met and how he upset her. Dodo takes advantage of the moment and asks him to go to the mall to buy a gift. On the way, they see an ad with Neen in it. Dodo gets really excited and asks him to take a picture of her with the ad. But her joy doesn't last. Workers arrive and start removing all of Neen's ads from the mall. John feels bad and finally gives in. He contacts Neen using the excuse that Dodo refuses to start her treatment unless she sees her. Neen doesn't hesitate. She gets dressed right away and heads to the hospital to check on Dodo herself, wanting to be sure the girl is starting her rehabilitation so she can walk again. Dodo seizes the opportunity and tells her she's willing to begin therapy, but only if they live together. Neen says it won't work because her apartment isn't available, as her family is coming to visit, so John suggests that she could stay with them. Neen says, well, it's not a bad idea actually, and agrees for Dodo's sake. Then she goes to check out the apartment, but suddenly, just as she gets close to the balcony, John stops her. She's surprised and asks, "Why not? It's nothing." She says, "Come on, show me." When he tries to stop her and fails, she sees the ad, realizing they've taken down all her posters and ads. She expects herself to be upset, but she says, "It's fine, just another wound. It's not like I don't already carry enough pain in my heart." She tries to brush it off, saying, "Everything's already gone, anyway." John gives her his number and says, "If you ever need anything, just message me. I'll be there in seconds." She replies, "Why would I take your number? Who are you to me?" He says, "For Dodo, just in case she needs anything." She answers, "Fine, give your number to Dodo. I don't take numbers myself. Don't get any ideas just because I'm staying with you for 2 days." He laughs and says, "Okay, fine, I'll send it on the radio." Then they head to the market to buy all the supplies Dodo needs. Suddenly, 2 people recognize Neen and start talking badly about her. John steps in to defend her, and Dodo doesn't stay silent either. She gives them a sharp response, saying that Neen is better than all of them. Days pass, and they all start blending together like a real family. John and Neen take Dodo for her physical therapy, but unfortunately she still can't walk, even though her legs are medically fine. John is puzzled and can't understand what's wrong, so he leaves Dodo with Neen and goes to review the scans again. At the same time, Neen calls Jenny and tells her that her family is arriving today from their trip. She asks her to pick them up from the airport and take them to her house. After making sure they've arrived safely, she goes back to John and asks about the scans. He says everything is medically fine. It's clear that her issues are psychological. Unfortunately, she's suffering from trauma, and that's what's stopping her from walking. She'll need psychological treatment alongside her medications. So Neen takes her to a famous therapist named Dr. Engi, who also happens to be the ex-wife of her manager, Young. After the session ends, Engi explains to them that Dodo is feeling extremely lonely. She says, "Why? I'll tell you. Because her parents died, and she hasn't been able to move past it. She's afraid she'll never be able to run again." And she shows them some of Dodo's dark and gloomy drawings. Neen is deeply moved and decides to stand by her side. She tells Engi, "I'll do whatever it takes to help her. I don't care if it costs £1 or $1 million. What matters is that Dodo gets better." At the same time, Neen's family arrives at her house, and Jenny, taking advantage of her absence, welcomes them. When Neen's mother asks where she is, Jenny tells her, "She's just out running an errand, she'll be home soon," then calls her, but Neen doesn't answer. It becomes clear that the relationship between Neen and her family isn't great, and her mother is upset that, as usual, Neen is ignoring her. Her stepfather feels guilty and calls Neen himself, asking her to come have lunch with them. She responds coldly, saying she's busy, and hangs up on him. Afterwards, Neen opens Instagram and sees the photos her mother posted. Pictures of her mom, her stepfather, and her stepbrother. She notices how happy they look as a family without her, and that no one even cares whether she's part of their lives anymore. John sees that she's upset, sits beside her, and starts comforting her. She thanks him, and as she gets up, she slips. He catches her, and she quickly pulls away, flustered and embarrassed. The next day, she takes John and Dodo out to buy them some new clothes. She wears a disguise so no one will recognize her, but suddenly a crowd gathers around them. She assumes they recognized her and is about to panic, but it turns out they're all fans of John, and no one is paying attention to her at all, quite the opposite in fact. After that, she takes Dodo out for lunch. At the same time, Neen's manager manages to reach a famous producer and convinces her to consider letting Neen participate in an upcoming show, since they're launching a sports program soon that will feature many well-known actors. The producer tells him to give her some time to think about it and says, if she manages to stay out of trouble during this period, I'll let her join the show, but I can't take any risks. Neen's reputation is already ruined and no one can stand her anymore. But Neen ruins everything because someone at the restaurant spots her, secretly takes photos of her with John, and spreads rumors that she's dating a new guy. The pictures go viral in no time. Her manager is shocked and immediately calls her, yelling, "I want to see you at the company right now." When she shows up, he explodes. "I've had enough. Have some mercy on me. I'm a man with diabetes and high blood pressure. Why are you doing this to me?" She says, confused, "What's going on? I don't understand anything." He shows her the viral pictures and says, "Everyone thinks you're in a relationship now. You need to release a statement immediately, apologize to the public, and tell them the truth, that you're not dating anyone." She replies, "Why should I do that? No one loves me anymore anyway, and nobody even cares." He tells her there's an opportunity. If she participates in this show, she could restore her reputation and become famous again, but the producer's only condition is that she doesn't cause any more trouble. Neen gets stubborn and says, "I didn't do anything wrong, I just went out with a friend." Then she leaves the office. When she returns home, she finds that John has prepared dinner for her and asks what happened at the company today. She avoids answering, telling him that her manager just wanted to check on her. Then she leaves him and heads to Dodo's therapist. She asks if there's anything she can do to help. The doctor suggests they put on a performance. It might improve Dodo's mental state. Neen agrees for Dodo's sake and decides to prepare a surprise for her. She asks John to keep Dodo distracted until she finishes everything, so John takes her to the garden and asks to see her drawings. She shows him all her sketches, and he notices that she's starting to recover. Her drawings now look like regular children's art. Meanwhile, Neen realizes she doesn't have enough money, so she goes to beg her manager. She brings him a cake and says, "I need to talk to you about something human." He replies, "Since when are you so soft-hearted?" She says, "Come on, don't be like that. I've always seen you as a brother. I love you for God's sake." He cuts her off. "Get to the point. What do you want? How much?" She tells him she needs a loan. He says, "Haven't you caused enough trouble already, with all the rumors and the company's stock price dropping?" She shrugs. "It's not a big deal. A few coins won't kill you." He finally agrees and transfers the amount to her account, under one condition. She must not cause any more trouble. He also reminds her of another condition. She must participate in the sports game show. And by the way, Nana and Crazy Nuna will be participating too. He warns her, "You know that girl wants to destroy you." Neen reluctantly agrees for Dodo's sake. At the same time, she gets a call from Juno, telling her he managed to arrange the amount she needed. She smiles and tells him she's not going to join the show after all, and walks off saying, "See, didn't even need your help." Later, she gets a call from Hana, asking to see her urgently. When they meet, Hana asks her why she refuses to join the program. Neen says, "I feel like no one likes me. and I might ruin the show. Not to mention the producer hates me. Hana says, "Don't worry about it, leave it to me." She goes to the producer, who is delighted to see her and asks what she's doing there. Hana tells her she wants Neen to join the show. Taking advantage of the opportunity, the producer agrees, but on the condition that Hana also participates. Hana says she doesn't mind and that she'll be with Neen. At the same time, John is getting Dodo ready and takes her to the theater. She's surprised and asks, "Why are we here?" Suddenly the lights go out. When they come back on, she sees Neen in front of her dressed as a ballerina, dancing for her with the rest of her friends. She gets really happy with the performance and loves it. For the first time, she manages to stand on her feet. She's overjoyed that she was finally able to overcome her fear. Dodo is going to walk again. After the day ends, they take her home to rest. Suddenly the doorbell rings. When she opens the door, she finds Jenny standing there. She's surprised and asks, "What do you want?" Jenny says, "Looks like you haven't heard the good news. The producer agreed to let you join the show. Your name is trending now alongside Crazy Nuna and Nana." When she checks the comments, she finds everyone insulting her. She says, "Are you sure this is trending? They're saying they don't even want me on the show." Jenny expects Neen to be upset, but she pretends to be strong and says the comments don't affect her. But John knows the truth, that Neen, although strong and tough on the outside, is soft and sensitive inside. She asks John to keep an eye on her. Then John gets an idea to help restore her image. He starts posting ads everywhere saying she helped a little girl named Dodo, and he shares Dodo's drawings too, showing that Neen was the one encouraging her to draw. Thanks to that, people start accepting her again, and she gets support to participate in the show. Her manager calls her and asks her to check out the new ad. When she sees it, she's moved and very happy. After realizing that the public is starting to love her again, she decides to join the show with full confidence. On the first day of filming, everyone greets her again. But of course, Crazy Nuna doesn't leave her alone. She clings to her, pretending they're best friends just to look cute in front of the fans. But Neen politely keeps her at a distance. When she returns home, she finds John waiting for her. He asks her what happened, and she tells him. He says, "I feel like this show is going to make a big difference for you. It's going to bring you back stronger." She's touched by his words and thanks him for always being by her side, always supporting her. The next day when he wakes up, he finds a note from her asking him to take a few things to her house because her mother is leaving today. So he takes the gifts and goes to her family's house. When her mother sees him, she pretends not to know who he is and asks, "Who are you and what's your relationship with my daughter?" He plays along and tells her that he's a doctor named John, and hands her the items before leaving right away. When she opens them, she discovers that Neen had gotten gifts for all of them, meaning she hadn't forgotten anyone. She realizes Neen isn't as cold-hearted as she thought and feels a little happy. Then she takes her husband and son to the airport, still thinking Neen wouldn't show up to say goodbye, just like she hadn't shown up to greet them. But she's shocked when Neen arrives to say goodbye before they leave. Her mother is happy and tells her, "Don't hesitate to call me if anything happens, because I'm your mother, and no one will care about you more than I do." After saying goodbye, Neen heads straight to the shoot. The show begins, and it includes many dangerous games. Neen easily passes the first round, impressing everyone, and they cheer her on. But suddenly the producer tells her she won't be playing the next round alone. She'll need a partner. She asks, "Who's gonna play with me?" He replies, "Crazy Nuna will be your teammate." She's shocked because she hates Nuna and there's been a lot of drama between them. She decides she wants to withdraw from filming, but her manager tries to calm her down and says, "Don't let these issues get in the way. Put your differences aside, this show is for your own good. They're already famous and don't have any scandals. But you, mashallah, I don't even know where to begin with you." As for John, he finds out that Leo will be joining them on the show and will be their coach. So he goes to him and asks him to take good care of Neen and make sure nothing bad happens to her. At the same time, Neen heads off to finish her makeup because they're about to start filming the second episode. But Crazy Nuna doesn't leave her alone. Every time Neen goes to the makeup artist, Nuna comes and sits beside her to make her look bad. Neen mocks her and says, "I'm not bothered, sweetheart. Natural beauty always wins. I'm pretty even without makeup. The rest is on you, Miss Filters." Neen finds out that in the second episode, Leo will be training them on kata poses and asks them to split into pairs. She ends up with Nuna, who purposely drops her on her back. Neen gets badly hurt but puts on a brave face and says she'll continue filming. Eventually, the pain gets too much. so Jenny takes her to rest. At that moment, Nana walks in and tells them she'll be joining the show too. As soon as Leo sees her, he's shocked. It's clear they know each other. It's revealed that they were in a relationship 5 years ago. But Leo suddenly left her without any explanation. That's why during practice she hits him, letting out all the frustration she's held in for years. But he shows no reaction and acts like her presence doesn't matter to him. Feeling embarrassed, she walks away and greets the rest of the group. At the same time, Neen starts to feel severe pain in her back and doesn't know what to do. When she checks her phone, she finds a bunch of messages from John explaining what medicine to take regularly and which exercises to do to relieve the pain. She's touched by his concern. Not only that, he even brings her the medicine himself and gives it to Jenny to pass on. Neen realizes that John came all the way here just for her, so she runs quickly to see him. But when she steps outside, she can't find him and gets upset, thinking he left without saying goodbye. Suddenly, he appears in front of her. She's overjoyed, and without any hesitation tells him she was waiting for him. Taking the opportunity, John confesses that he likes her, and then gives her mouth-to-mouth as a joke. She gets flustered and runs to her room in embarrassment, telling him, "Wait until after Ramadan." The next day, she's still nervous, and Jenny tells her, "Come on, just tell me what happened yesterday." Neen dodges the question and says, "Mind your business, smarty pants." Jenny figures out that John confessed his love and keeps teasing her and annoying her about it. Neen just smiles and heads off to continue filming. Then comes the third challenge in the show. As usual, she's this close to winning, but crazy Nuna trips her and she falls flat on her back. The pain gets worse and she's unable to move. They rush her to the hospital. When John hears what happened, he runs over to check on her. But as soon as she sees him, she gets flustered and says, "Get out, I don't need you." He tells her that at the end of the day, he's a doctor and responsible for her condition. But she doesn't care and pushes him away, so he goes to check on her with her manager and speaks to the radiologist, who informs them that Neen has a serious injury in 2 of her vertebrae, and if she doesn't get proper rest, she might not be able to walk again. Her manager insists she has to continue filming, so he contacts the producer, begging her to postpone the shoot. After a lot of pressure, the producer agrees to delay filming for just 1 week. When Nana hears the news, she visits Neen to cheer her up and tells her that the producer agreed to give her a week off, so she needs to fully rest and not move at all. Meanwhile, John finds out that Neen's doctor is planning to travel and is looking for a replacement. He seizes the opportunity and volunteers to take over, becoming her doctor. The next day, when he goes to check on her, he finds her getting dressed and trying to leave. He asks, "Where do you think you're going? That's not happening." She replies, "Why not? You're not my doctor." He pulls out his ID badge and shows her that he asked officially in charge of her case. He tells her she's not going anywhere for a week. She gets annoyed but pretends to listen to him. As soon as he leaves the room, she teams up with Jenny to plan an escape from the hospital. But Jenny turns out to be a snitch. Every time they try to escape, she reports everything. That's why every attempt ends in failure. And Neen keeps wondering how he keeps catching her. Has he put a tracker on me or something? Until one day, Jenny gets distracted, and Neen checks her phone, realizing that Jenny's the one who's been tipping him off. She grabs Jenny and drags her into the elevator, trying to sneak out. But when they open the elevator door, John is standing right in front of them. Neen's shocked. How did he find us this time? She looks at Jenny and says, "My phone's with you, so how could he know?" He says, "Don't worry, I've got eyes everywhere and I won't let you do this." He forces her back to her room. She loses it, yelling, "Do you realize what you're doing to me? I have asterisk to go back and continue filming. I'm an actress. If I stay home after every injury, I'll fail. People will forget me. No one will care anymore. Isn't it enough that I'm already hated and just now I was finally getting some love? And now, even you are turning against me?" Moved by her words, he finally agrees to let her leave. She immediately tells her manager, who's shocked, "But you were given a full week off. Why are you coming back already?" She replies, "The doctor discharged me. I'm fine now, and I need to go back to filming. I don't want to delay them anymore. I've been waiting so long for this opportunity." Her manager is thrilled and doesn't question it. When she gets back home, she waits for Johnny to message her, to check on her, to say anything, but unfortunately he doesn't. She thinks he must be upset with her and stays sad and down the whole day. But the next day, when she arrives at the shoot, She's surprised to see him there. She asks why he came after her, and he says, "Do you think the world revolves around you or something? The producer called me and said I'll be responsible for the team in case someone gets injured or something. They say people get hurt a lot here, God forbid." She doesn't care and walks off to change into her outfit and get ready for filming. When she comes back, she finds him standing with crazy Nuna, and that makes her feel jealous. Still, she tries to hide it and gets back to filming, but then her back starts hurting even more, and Johnny rushes over and hands something to Jenny, telling her to apply it to Neen's back. Instead of thanking him, Neen just glares at him with disgust and walks away to her room. She stays upset until Nana shows up with food and asks what's bothering her. Neen vents that crazy Nuna is trying to flirt with Johnny and might actually get him. Nana tells her, "Well, just admit you like him and go for it already. If you're this jealous, that says it all." Neen responds, "No way. He's the one who should come to asterisk me, asterisk, and confess. I'm not going to run after him." But deep down, she admits she's never thought of him as asterisk, just asterisk a friend, though she keeps pretending otherwise. The next day on set, it starts raining, and Johnny runs over to her to cover her from the cold so she doesn't get sick again. He takes the chance to ask if she loves him the way he loves her. As usual, she dodges the question. He says, "Fine, then I'll pretend your hospital discharge never happened and I'll send you back." She begs him not to, and he says, "Okay, I won't, but only if you agree to be my girlfriend." She finally agrees to date him, just to get him off her back, and from then on, he sticks to her like glue. But she starts feeling annoyed and tense around him. On top of that, he insists she go visit Dodo before she travels to stay with her dad's family. At first, Nina's uncomfortable because she doesn't like emotional goodbyes, but he manages to convince her in his own way. When Dodo sees her, she gets really happy and asks John to leave the room because she wants to tell Neen something important. Neen gets curious and wonders what she wants to say. As soon as he walks out, Dodo tells her that John loves her very much and urges her to give him a chance. Still, Neen feels scared, and when John later tries to ask her how she truly feels, she avoids the question and dodges him. That makes him upset, so he walks off and heads to the park. There, he sees a little kid sitting alone and starts chatting with him, venting about everything that's been bothering him. The kid gives him advice and says, "Listen, mister, pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. That girl you like, do you think she's pretty?" John replies, "Yeah, she's a total knockout." The kid says, "Exactly. And do you think she'd make a good mom someday?" John replies, "Best mom ever." The kid says, "See? You're not even denying it. So here's my advice. Go tell her how you feel. Just do it. And oh, one more thing. Don't forget to subscribe to the Movies Room channel, hit the notification bell, and give them a like. That's the main condition for her to fall in love with you. Tell everyone to do it so she'll agree to date you." John laughs and says, "All right, I'll tell them. Let's hope they subscribe so she'll finally go out with me." Meanwhile, Neen returns to the show to finish filming. It's the final challenge that will determine the winner, and as usual, she nails it and wins first place. After filming wraps, the director takes them out to celebrate. Neen thanks the producer, and for the first time, the producer actually praises her and says she's considering casting her in some new projects because you turned out to be quite talented. After the party ends, Neen heads to the hospital for a follow-up on her condition, but she doesn't find John there. Instead, there's a new doctor who tells her she'll be in charge of Neen's case from now on, and that John is no longer responsible for her. She feels upset and realizes she really went too far, that she should have been honest with him about her true feelings. When she gets home, she finds Nana there and takes the opportunity to ask her about her relationship with Leo and why they always look at each other with disgust every time they meet. Nana tells her that she and Leo used to be together and they really loved each other, until one day he suddenly disappeared from her life without any explanation. When she tried to reach out to him, he treated her coldly, ignored her, and blocked her everywhere. Neen tries to comfort her, saying, "Don't be sad. Men are all the same. No good. They're all like Mustafa Abu Hagar." Suddenly, Dodo calls Neen and gets excited when she sees her, but when John walks in, he gets upset, takes the phone from Dodo, ends the call, and tells her to get back to her exercises. Neen realizes how upset John is with her and starts thinking of a way to make things right again. When she gets back home, her friend is waiting for her and tells her that the show they worked on is airing its first episode tonight. Neen gets excited, hoping it will go viral and that her name will trend with it. But unfortunately, when the episode airs, she finds out that the director cut out half of her scenes, and the rest makes her look evil and like the worst person on the show. Her friend tries to comfort her, but Neen says, "It's fine, I expected this. Honestly, these things don't even bother me anymore. I've gotten used to them." Later, she meets up with Nana and they go to the hospital. When she sees John, she tries to talk to him, but he completely ignores her as if she doesn't exist. At the same time, Neen's manager calls Jenny and says he needs her urgently. When she arrives, he gives her 2 tickets for Neen's favorite artist's concert to cheer her up after what happened with the show. But unfortunately, Jenny loses the tickets and starts crying. She calls Han and begs him to go look for the tickets or get replacements, anything, just so Neen won't be upset. John takes the opportunity and says he'll get them himself. After managing to find the tickets, he goes to give them to Neen. She gets excited, thinking he's forgiven her, but he stays distant and tells her he's only delivering them because Han asked him to. He says, "Don't think this means anything between us." But she doesn't care and still gives him one of the tickets, telling him she'll be waiting for him tonight and won't go into the concert without him. He intends to go, but suddenly a critical meeting comes up at the hospital and he can't leave. Neen gets upset and leaves the concert venue. When the meeting ends, John goes to Leo and starts yelling, saying that every time he tries to get closer to her, something happens. This girl is jinxed. Misfortune follows her. Something always comes up that pulls us apart. He goes home, frustrated, but finds Neen waiting for him downstairs. She tells him, "You didn't come, huh, mister? I'm too cool to care." He responds, "Come for what? There's nothing between us." She gets angry and says, "Fine, let's see how long you can keep acting like this." The next day, he wakes up and finds her right in his face. He gasps, How did you get in here?" She says, "Are you dumb? I used to live here, remember? I know the passcode." He says, "Oh, right, okay, now get out." She replies, "Not until you try the food I made for you with my own hands." She drags him to eat, but as soon as he tastes it, he realizes it's from the restaurant next door. He says, "You can't even lie properly? At least make it believable. I'm heading to the hospital, and when I come back, I don't want to see your face here." Then he leaves. Neen gets angry and goes to wake up Nana, telling her, "The tables have turned. Instead of him chasing me, now I'm chasing after him, and he doesn't even care." Nana tells her not to give up. "He's a good catch, and someone else could snatch him from you." So, Neen decides to keep trying to win him back and follows him everywhere. Meanwhile, Nana goes to the company where Leo works and tells them she wants him to be her personal bodyguard. But Leo refuses and tells her he'll never work for her. She gets upset and leaves. At the same time, Neen returns home and starts feeling extremely weak. She calls John first, and as soon as he hears what's happening, he rushes over. When he arrives, he finds her in bad shape and asks about her symptoms. She tells him she hasn't eaten in 3 days because her new role requires her to look extremely thin. He's shocked and immediately goes to prepare food for her, but she refuses to eat and insists the role is important. It will help people love her again. Moved by her words, he agrees to help her lose weight in a healthy way. She's happy and thanks him, and while she's at it, she tells him that her role is of a nurse, so she needs to train with him a bit. The next day, he calls her and starts explaining some things, and she begins taking notes. Not just that, after he finishes work, he even goes to teach her in person to make sure everything is perfect. One day, he's extremely busy, but suddenly he receives a message from Neen saying she's feeling really sick. He's shocked and rushes to check on her, but when he arrives, he finds her laughing and realizes it was all a setup for a little party. She was just trying to get close to him. He gets angry and tells her off. "I'm not a toy for you to use whenever you feel like it. You pull me in and then toss me aside." He walks out and heads to a restaurant, where he ends up watching the show she had been working on during the break. He notices the director intentionally portrayed her in a bad light. At that moment, Neen's manager calls her. She goes to see him, and he shows her what happened and tells her he'll make it up to her, but she tells him she doesn't care, that the show was trash anyway and she never had high hopes for it. Then she leaves. But when she returns home, she finds John waiting for her. He apologizes to her for the way he acted and tells her he's going to stay by her side until he's sure she's okay. She can't hold it in anymore. Suddenly she breaks down crying and says all her hard work went to waste, that she'll always be hated and rejected, and no one will ever love her. John stays beside her, makes her food, and comforts her. He says, You'll definitely land a new role that suits you. People will see the truth. They'll know you're a kind person who doesn't deserve all the negative comments." She replies, "It doesn't matter anymore. I'm thinking of quitting acting." He tells her he'll support her in any decision, except that one, because he knows she's talented. Then he says, "Come on, let's continue training." That's when she notices how skilled he is and asks why someone so good at surgery is working in rehabilitation instead. He avoids the question and says he likes rehab because it's easy and simple, nothing more. Suddenly, they hear the doorbell. When she opens it, she finds Nana there, coming to comfort her. Nian tells her she's feeling better now, so Nana stays with her, and they spend the evening together, drinking lemon juice. Eventually, Nana starts rambling and calls Leo while tipsy. When he finds out she's been drinking, he goes to pick her up and takes her home. When he sees that she still has the teddy bear he gave her long ago, he realizes she still loves him, but as usual, he pretends not to care and walks away. Just then, when he steps outside, he finds a box at the door and realizes someone is stalking Nana. He tries to catch the person, but they've already escaped. Worried about her, he decides he'll become her personal bodyguard. At the same time, Neen's manager goes to check on her and is shocked to find John there. He asks, "What are you doing here?" John replies that he and Neen are close. The manager says, "She's an actress. This can't happen. If rumors spread, it'll ruin her already struggling career." John answers, "Look, I'll do whatever it takes to stay by her side." The most important thing is that she doesn't get hurt in her work. He tells him, "Fine, the first thing you need to do is not tell anyone that you two are in a relationship." John replies, "Done. I'm on it." At that time, Neen goes to audition and passes. She gets the role. What a talented girl. Meanwhile, Nana receives a message from Leo saying he accepts to be her personal bodyguard. She says, "He fell right into my hands, overjoyed and unable to believe it." She was this close to liking and subscribing to the channel out of happiness. We go now to John, who decides to propose to Neen officially. He goes out to buy a ring and a cute little cake, and then waits for her at a restaurant. He sends her a message saying he has something important to tell her. As soon as Neen arrives and sees John singing, she's thrilled and can't believe it. He finally surprised her. He seizes the moment and proposes to her officially, and she can't believe it and says, "Of course I accept." The next day, she goes to her manager, who's happy for her and tells her that the series has started filming. And he found out that her role is going to be a major one this time. He says, "Now you have to make the most of this opportunity. I want you to act really well." She replies, "Come on, don't embarrass me." He warns her not to mention her love life and says that if anyone finds out they're in a relationship, it'll be the end for her, for him, and for all of them. She says, "Hey, don't be rude. I'm learning from my mistakes. You know I'm in a relationship, right?" He says, "Yeah." She says, "Then fine it. You're the only one who knows." When she returns home, she finds a message from John asking if they can go out together. She apologizes and says, "No, I'm traveling for 3 months to film the series, so we won't be able to meet at all." He says, "I understand." He keeps sending her messages, sweets, and little gifts to cheer her up and check on her health. Even though he can't see her, the man clearly misses her. He tries to make her feel like he's right there beside her. But as soon as the filming starts, she turns off her phone. Then the actor who's going to work with her arrives to get to know her, but she finds out he's cold and treats her badly, so she doesn't care. And Nana arrives at the house where she'll be staying during the filming period in Beirut. Leo goes with her to make sure everything is okay, and of course, he starts spying on her. When she tries to talk to him as usual, he ignores her. Days pass and filming begins. Neen also can't use her phone much, and because of that, John starts feeling lonely. She's not replying to his messages either. He gets upset. Han gets excited and says to him, "Be patient, man. Whoever waits gets something worthwhile. Come on now, there's a seminar happening soon at the same location where Neen's shooting. Let's go. I also want to see Jenny because I miss her." Meanwhile, during filming, Neen can't connect with the actor opposite her. He even implies she got the role through connections because she's close to Nana. He talks badly about her and says a failure like her will ruin his fresh career. Neen gets frustrated and upset, but she swallows her pride and goes to talk to him, only for him to hurt her with harsh words and walk away. At that time, John arrives at the hotel and tries to contact them, but can't because the location is secret. Luckily, Han manages to reach Jenny, and finds out the place. At the same moment, Neen has to perform a very emotional scene. She keeps thinking about John, which makes the performance full of real emotions. The director feels it, and so does the actor opposite her. After hating her, now he realizes she's an excellent actress, first class. She has real talent, all she needs is self-confidence. Everyone on set is moved by her performance. After the shoot, the once annoying actor comes over to apologize for what he said about her. He tells her he feels they're going to succeed, and it's all thanks to that scene. Neen is happy that he finally softened and thanks him. And not only that, John sends her a message saying he's waiting for her by the fountain. She tells him she'll wear a costume, and she gets excited to see him again after all this time. But unfortunately, when she arrives, he's with the other doctors, and she starts to feel bored. She walks away, and John follows her in Beirut, apologizing. He even sings to her and tells her he's missed her for a long time and that she's always been on his mind. All that's missing is to give her some raisins. But our guy knows it's Ramadan and the content has to stay clean. She tells him, "At first I had no confidence in myself at all, and my acting was terrible. But over time, I started to adapt and discovered all the talents I had inside me." He encourages her and tells her that he feels like this time she'll succeed. He even walks her all the way to her hotel. The next day, as soon as he wakes up, he goes to check on her and sees the actor. He wonders who this guy is and what kind of relationship he has with Neen to be allowed into the hotel and even go to her room. He assumes the guy is a crazy admirer and gets ready to fight. Just as he's about to punch him, John grabs him by the arm, bam, and says, "You think you can handle this move?" The noise of the fight brings Neen out. She tells John that this behavior isn't acceptable and he should trust her. The actor apologizes and says, "Sorry, if someone can't see through a sieve, then he must be blind." John replies, "You mean if he can see through a sieve?" The actor says, "You get what I mean?" Then adds, "Anyway, I'm sorry. If you're her lover, I mean her friend, then you're my friend." John responds, "I'm her doctor. And by the way, you might want to keep your nose above your mouth, buddy, since she's in our lives now." Feeling awkward, the actor blushes a bit and walks off. The next day, John goes to the filming location, but when Neen reads the script for today's shoot, she panics. It includes CPR, mouth to mouth. She freaks out and tries to find a way to either escape, get John to leave, or get someone to make him leave quickly. She thinks, how can he see me like this? No, this can't happen. She tells him she wants to buy something from the supermarket. He leaves, but on the way, he overhears the actor saying, "Today we have a beautiful scene, an amazing scene, CPR. He starts thinking, so that's why Neen was so determined to make me leave. He gets upset. When he returns and she sees him, she panics and doesn't know what to do. The scene becomes even more awkward. They keep repeating it over and over. Enough. Wasn't once enough? What, did you enjoy it? The director gets angry and tells her to focus, so she's forced to listen. But John, like any jealous Eastern man, and he is Eastern from East Asia, gets mad at what he's seeing and feels helpless, so he leaves. Neen clearly becomes anxious and upset. The next day, we see someone causing drama with Madame Coca because her husband is being touched, and John blames himself. He apologizes, and it seems like he's starting to like Neen. As soon as they get a break, she runs over and apologizes to him. She says, "I'm sorry, but work is work." He says, "Yeah, work is work. I'll forgive you this time because I'm confident in myself and I know you won't love anyone but me." She's happy that he didn't blow things out of proportion. He accepted the 2 horns he just took and moved on. At the same time, the hotel manager calls Leo and tells him, "We've noticed something strange lately. Someone has been coming in disguise and placing something in front of Nana's room and leaving. We saw this happen more than once. We took the items and examined them. Turns out they had spy cameras inside." Leo gets furious and decides to find out who this person is, and he finds him, somehow. At that moment, Nana runs out, and suddenly she feels like someone is running after her. Boom! The person they were all afraid of finally appears. She notices him. She realizes he's there, and he realizes she saw him. He chases after her and uses Leo as a shield. Leo catches him and punches him before he can even find out who he is or who sent him. The second guy takes advantage of the moment and escapes too. Leo feels upset and guilty because he let him slip through his fingers. He's worried because surely the guy won't stay quiet and will definitely come after her again. And that's where the first part of the series ends. If you want to know who this person is, why he's chasing Nana, and also what will happen to our heroes, and whether John will accept what just happened to our heroine, all that will be revealed in part 2. All you have to do now is turn on the notification bell so we can continue the story of our light-hearted and sweet heroes. Much love to you, beautiful soul. See you soon. Don't forget to subscribe for more. Check out more recaps you'll absolutely love right here.